And with summer coming, now's the time to book your appointment to get that Brazilian blowout or start with your summer highlights. But don't stop there. We are a full-service salon offering manicures, pedicures, and facials also. So if you've been searching for a salon to call your own, come and see us at Hello Gorgeous Salon. We are located at 48 South Magnolia Avenue in downtown Ocala, right next to the Marion Theater. So call today and set up your appointment at Hello Gorgeous Salon at 351-5358. That's 351-5358. And don't forget, we also do men and children's cuts too.
Hello, gorgeous.
All right, 21 minutes after 11 o'clock. Nice looking Wednesday. I hope you're doing well. Tomorrow is Thursday, and every Thursday, as you all know, we have a veterans program here on WOCA. It's called Veterans News. And it's not always news. In fact, it's more than news. It's the guys come in here and share stories and give us a lot of information about what's going on in our community. Sometimes there are some fundraisers. But the one thing that is clear is that there's really never enough time in one show per week to get it all in. But that's the nature of this game. It would be wonderful, wouldn't it, if there was a radio show that you could hear not only on terrestrial radio, but maybe on the internet, as you can hear WOCA. But anytime, just tune it in. I think it's a podcast that we're going to refer to. And here's the real icing on the cake. It's produced locally. Mack Payne has been with us before. He is a Vietnam veteran, and he's been in to talk about his book. It's called a Vietnam Veteran Memoirs. It's a book of miracles, and he has started a radio program on the internet. If I have that wrong, he's going to correct me in just a second because he's on the phone. But I think it's wonderful that we have something like this. And so let's say good morning to Mack Payne. Good morning, Mack. How you doing?
Well, good morning to you, and you have it exactly right.
Well, good. Well, where are you exactly, Mack?
I'm sitting at my luxurious home down here in Lake Placid, Florida, on the shores of Lake Huntley.
All right. And do you do your radio show every day? How often do you do it?
The great thing about being the producer and owner of a podcast, you can do it anytime you want to. I try to put up an episode every day, but don't make it all the time, but I try to do it daily.
So I'll ask you again at the end. We have a very brief interview, but tell us, where do we hear it? Do we go to a website?
I have a website that is a portal to where they can subscribe free, but it's VietnamVeteranNews.com.
Okay.
And you can either bookmark that and get the episodes every day. That also gives you a way to subscribe to the podcast for free, either with an RSS feed, or they can go to the iTunes store and sign up for it there.
And just get it. That's how I do it. I do it with iTunes. All right, so tell me, what do you talk about, and do you have guests? And how long is it? Tell me everything I need to know.
It's a free running thing, and the name of it is Vietnam Veteran News, and I'm the Vietnam veteran in there, and I really pick out things that are of interest to me that I hope will be of interest to others that are somehow related to the Vietnam War era, one way or the other, and it includes everything from interviews with Vietnam veterans to I'll find articles. I scan the whole universe of news articles, and I will pick out articles that I think would be of interest to veterans and myself and put those on there. And sometimes I'll do, like, I spoke at an incredible American Legion event at Memorial Day over in Okeechobee on Monday, and they had a real big crowd there, and I spoke to them, and sometimes I'll put recordings of those speeches or interviews that I do on there where I talk about different things. But basically, it's a place where people can go and thumb through the episodes and find just about anything news of interest about Vietnam. And I just put one up now about an interview I did with a guy by the name of John Bury up in Pennsylvania, and he was on a naval ship in Vietnam, and that was very interesting. I had to divide the interview up into two episodes because he first talked about his experiences on a naval ship over there, and then he talked about the things that he's done since Vietnam, and he's become a very, very active activist for Agent Orange, and he's testified before Congress. He's a writer, and I put the first one up today, and tomorrow I'm going to put up the part where he talks about Agent Orange, and he'll tell you things that you've never heard about it that will run.
Wow.
The shakes. I didn't know what was going on with Agent Orange, and it's really scary. And that's going to be in the episode tomorrow, episode 047, and I advise everybody to check in on that because John has done a lot of work in this area because he's suffering from it. And it's funny. He says, I'm supposed to be dead. He's had 4 episodes with cancer that are related to Agent Orange.
Oh, my goodness.
Here he is.
Oh, my goodness.
Plugging away. So, but this website includes things like that and anything of interest about the Vietnam era.
So how long have you been doing this?
Started off in about the 1st of February.
And you enjoy the whole process? I mean,
oh, man.
Yeah?
It's like now we're not like a real radio station. It's just where you put audio up on a website on the internet, but you're in control of it. I begin to know how you feel, because you're in control of your program and you decide what you want to put on there and what you want to talk about. And
right.
I'm just slightly political, and I like to throw in some every once in a while. I'll throw in some political editorial type things, and so I just do. I want to make it grow and everything because it's the only Vietnam-related podcast that I found in the iTunes store. And I said, and it all came about, I speak at different places about the book, and people were talking about it, and suddenly the podcast thing came in, and I said, you know what? I think this just might work. Set up a podcast, and people might like to come there and hear different things about Vietnam from a sort of a whimsical person like myself.
Wow, that's awesome. So, have you had much feedback? If you're talking politics, I know you're getting feedback. So, how are they doing the feedback? Or are they sending you emails, or is there a place to like leave a message?
There are places on the website that you can leave comments, but I just look at the people that subscribe and. I only have just a little less than 1,000 subscribers, but the big guys like Adam Carolla and people like that, they have millions and millions of subscribers. So maybe someday I'll get up to 1 million or so.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if the number grows. First of all, I mean, you're doing a little publicity for yourself, like coming on this radio show, will probably help.
Yeah.
But I just think you're filling a niche, and so I'm not trying to say. I mean, this will help, I'm sure, but I think just word of mouth will help. Other people will talk about it, and that's what I think will help it grow.
The main thing is it's a service available to them, and it's not like professional or anything, but I go out and I find things that are of interest to a veteran myself, and I think if I'm interested in it, then others may be interested in it. And
yeah.
Podcast, I was concerned. I didn't want to think that I'm trying to compete with what you're doing.
No, not at all. Are you kidding? I support what you guys do.
Oh, great. It gives people an opportunity to go, and you can scroll through it and say, hey, I want to hear about John Bury on the USS Sacramento, or I want to hear about, I had an article in there about a Laotian who started a donut shop in San Antonio, and there's an article about David Hine up in Indiana who's got a project of collecting pictures of all the people who died in Vietnam from Indiana. And,
wow.
All these things, and it's like the Transportation Corps remembers, and a super article I did on a guy who's a veteran they told him he was going to die. He had Agent Orange, and they told him he was going to die in 3 weeks, and he said, well, I'm going to make the most of it, and he liked horses, so he rode in a wagon with his 2 horses. He was in Tennessee, and he went up to Detroit to visit relatives, and
wow.
Just kept going, and that was a year ago.
My
he traveled
goodness.
2,500 miles in that wagon.
Mac, we're up against the clock, so we have to go. But thank you so much for being on there. Good to chat with you again. Check out Mack Payne's podcast. Go to VietnamVeteranNews.com. And Robin already put that link on our website to make it easy. Mac, thank you very much. Keep up the good work, and you're always welcome on our show.
Well, thank you very much, and guess what? You're going to be featured in my next podcast.
All right. All right. Thank you, Mac.
Well, thank you very much.
In Afghanistan. Al-Qaeda's leadership on the border region between Pakistan and Afghanistan has been decimated. President Obama's commencement address coming a day after he announced plans to keep 9,800 U.S. troops in Afghanistan after the end of combat operations there, also saying the nation will continue to use military force unilaterally when core national security